British American Tobacco is one of the most important international tobacco players worldwide. We are present in around 130, 140 countries. We have a leadership position in 50 of those countries, and I mean market share leadership. And we have around 55,000 employees.
Sustainability in the leadership pipeline is achieved when it's not seen as a quick fix. I think that's been a lot of the mistakes that we've made in the past. It was an event, it's going in to make a quick fix, you think it's done, and then you go on with other business. What we have learned is that you achieve sustainability when you have your leaders continually turning around and developing other leaders. Leaders grow leaders.
The emphasis on talent development, and having great succession pipelines comes from the understanding that without people there's no business. I can tell you that within our organization this is the view.
At BAT, for quite some time, we've been putting emphasis on strategic leadership skills and people leadership skills, making sure that equally people are progressed, promoted, rewarded for having strong people leadership skills as well as strategic thinking.
I think the biggest difference now is that it's not just a one-off event. It's not the HR getting wheeled in for their one show of the year. It's something that's talked about at top team meetings, on the strategic agenda. It's talked about on functional meetings. It's something that the pull is actually coming now from the business, not from HR, and that's the biggest shift.
In the old days, maybe we did strategy reviews and focused on the core business issues we were facing in the market, like brands, like productivity. Nowadays, the whole talent agenda is a core part of the strategy reviews.
I've also seen a kind of an evolution from kind of one day, for example, very simple things, one day talent reviews where let's get over with it quickly, to kind of 2-day marathons where we talk a lot about people and we really go into quite some depths.
It's been really rewarding for us as we've been leading the Leadership Pipeline Initiative, that we've come across many other studies that show that other companies have been doing the same thing that we have been doing. Talent management practices, when there's discipline to it and accountability to it, always drive stronger productivity and therefore a stronger workforce and a strong succession pipeline. It cannot be an initiative that's driven by HR. It needs to be an initiative that's taken ownership from top down, driven as a business initiative from top down, and that's exactly what we have been doing.
When we visit markets, we have agreed as a management board standard questions we go through and standard meetings we go through to understand what is happening on the leadership front and what is happening on the talent front in those markets. So we will always have a conversation with the senior team in that end market, and we will ask them to present the simple metrics, the depth of their succession pipeline. We want to see the gap analysis. We want to see their plans, what they're going to do.
We've seen huge changes in the leadership agenda in marketing over the past 12 months. An example of that is before each of the marketing leadership team visits across the world, I will brief our global marketing director and other members of the marketing leadership team on the people in the key marketing roles in that particular market. We go through the succession plans for those key roles, plus also we talk about the next roles that those current incumbents are in those current markets. Yeah.
I think it becomes an employer brand of a company when they have it a part of talent management as part of their DNA. It's just a part of what they do. If you think about the reasons of why employees leave companies, we always hear employees don't leave companies, they leave their managers. So your best retention strategy is your managers. In that same line of thought, when you think about companies that you want to join, you don't necessarily think about companies who have great brands, you think about companies that develop leaders, that continually have a great talent management practices where you have ability to progress, to develop, to grow, and so forth. So when talent management is practiced in a company as just a natural part of their jobs, when it becomes a part of what they do every day, it's in their DNA, they're constantly developing leaders, it becomes sustainable, it becomes then their employer brand, because that's why people choose to go to companies.
We talk about developing local talent, and we are really serious about that now. So we are now, the line is asking us for that, and we are now going back saying, actually, here's something really creative that we're doing in terms of developing local talent. We've got things like our regional leadership team now are mentoring some of our top local talent in the region. And mentoring's not something new, it's been going around for years, but the difference this time is the pull is now coming from the business. It's not coming from us saying, you should do this, it's a good thing for you to do. So I think that's what makes a big difference.
Now we clearly see where we're going in 5 years' time. We're actually revisiting our strategy right now as we speak. So one of the work streams of that piece of work is, well, let's revisit our competencies, but also let's revisit how, as leaders, are we going to take this function forward. So in the end, it impacts exactly on building that leadership pipeline. Or else everybody in this team is very clear that if we don't do that today, 5 years down the road, we will just not have the people we need.
British American Tobacco has a great future. We have been re-articulating our strategy some years ago, and what do we see happening? I mean, our company is growing. We have organic volume growth, which is brilliant. Our profits are increasing year after year. So, if we look at our strategy that we have designed a couple of years ago, the strategy works, and the results are rolling out. But I think what is more important with regard to the future of British American Tobacco is its people. I mean, the future is also bright for us because we have good people in the organization. We recruit high quality. People are very committed to this organization. We do employee surveys, and recently our survey of 2006 on the question of how proud are you to be with the company, with British American Tobacco, 95% worldwide, on 40,000 respondents, 95% say we are very proud to be part of British American Tobacco. So the future looks good. We only need to work on the other 5% and make them proud to be with the organization. But with those 95%, we're gonna beat competition. Yeah. So bright future for British American Tobacco and its people.
Significant progress has been made, and it's recognized what we have achieved. But the key now is to maintain that momentum. So HR needs to continue working with the line to embed and to ensure that the whole line has full ownership of building the talent pipeline.